Good morning, everyone. We don't want to spill that. Morning, Rebo. How you doing? Morning, everyone on stream. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm going to find the urge not to tilt over this. I'm rather upset regarding that denial. No, I reached out to support. They said, I'll pull up the email right now, actually. Very, very upset about this. So we might not trade on those today. I might just trade on Tradeify and take a flip for today. So the full email is minimum requirements for payout outlined in prior violation emails not met. So my last denial on the email, but I never got an email for the denial. A bit ridiculous. I don't know. Yeah, I know, it's bizarre. Good morning, RB Oki. Good morning, Carlos, Frank, Stefan. I don't know. I'm gonna trade another 8 days and request it. I don't know how far off I was though, because I have these accounts they're at 3,700, so I'm like twice. I'm 2 times over the safety net for it. 3686. So add another 100 on here because these are all the safety nets. So these are 3,700, 3,400, 3,400, and I don't know what the denial was for, but probably not going to be looking to trade those. I'll trade on Tradeivate. These are all funded as well today. Tradeify, I mean. But I'm going to wait until I hear back from support. Yeah. Such a pain. Yeah. We'll worry about it when we get to support. For that trade yesterday, by the way, I did end up just leaving the P&L on it because of this. This ended up being a 29R trade at the high, and then came back down quite a bit into close, but got forced liquidated at 430. This was as good of a trade as it gets. I mean, we called that spot on yesterday with the use of the IB by rejection, and good news, or I guess kind of unfortunate news rather. Look at what this dropped back down to. So it was at 92% yesterday, if you guys remember. It's at 85% now. So this was, I guess it kind of worked out. We thought it was going to go and break the high. I thought it was going to go and break the high yesterday. Did not end up going and breaking the high, but it still counts as a missed data point. So this is still a loss on a Wednesday because it did not end up going and breaking the IB itself. So all those the entire thesis that we had was correct in terms of looking for it to break the IB high. Now, I did mention a couple times earlier in that stream yesterday that with the size of the IB, that's the only thing I didn't like about the potential for it to go to the high. All in all, this is still, we had to move all the way back up to 25.4 yesterday, I believe. 615, which is, yeah, where we are right now. We had to move back up to 25.4. So from that low, it was 25.67, 340 points back up is what that trade peaked at. So that ended up being a phenomenal move, phenomenal trade. 10-point risk, 340-point reward at the peak. All the way up to the top, it would have been 460 points. So still very happy with that read. And we also got this reset back down to 85. So we can definitely look to take it next Wednesday if the high forms first. If the low forms first, then we're still going to just be looking at the 77% chance. Morning, Mark. How you doing? Sorry to hear about the show with Apex. Was looking forward to see the payout. Yeah, me too, man. I am very upset about that. Mainly because they let me request it. And now not only did they deny it, but I have to wait another 8 trading days. So I can't request it at all next week. I have to wait all the way until February 23rd. And I have to trade them. I have to hit 5 $50 days and take trades for 3 other days. So another 8 trading days. February 23rd is when I can request. I should hopefully get a payout on these accounts next week. I'm going to push a little heavier. We are going to live trade these today as well. In the stream title, live trading 2,500 accounts. So we are going to look to, I got a lot of questions yesterday regarding I also missed a pretty substantial trade with this. I completely forgot that this was set to 20 accounts, 5 accounts, sorry, not 20. I had 20 M&Q loaded, and I averaged down 3 times last night. So I thought I was in 3 M&Q. I ended up being in 12 per account as opposed to 3 because I'm sized down to these 5 accounts as opposed to being sized down or sized up to 20. And then I left, I came back and I was up like 480. I thought the market ripped 120 points. No, I just made a really silly mistake. But either way, I still missed a pretty massive trade on that. But anyway, for these accounts today, we're probably going to trade 2 micros, 2 MNQ, or we're going to go and do 3 MES because they are on a 50K account. So just keep that in mind. Good morning, Kurt. How you doing? Yeah, it's going to be really difficult not to tilt on these, which is why I don't really want to trade on them for today. I'm actually going to go and make sure the payout's activated so that the group trades on. Very tough, Adita. Pronounce your name right, Stefan? Good. What happened to my second request? This was the second one. They denied this as well. And this is my second denial from Apex. Second $30,000 withdrawal denied. And what's even funnier about this is that I've only spent, I don't even think I've spent 3,000 with Apex because of their sales. So maybe that's contributing to it. Because I had. No, this was the second one. Second payout request denied. Yep. On these same 20 accounts. Oops, that's the Tradeify ones. On these same 20 accounts, it's the second. I mean, you can see what the balances I have on them too. So I have on these the MAE violation. They denied because you didn't make over 2x the safety net? No, even if it is that safety net rule, I'm over 2 times the safety net. Steve is saying it's because of the ME violation. I didn't make 1,500, but I never. The reason I was so upset about it this morning is because I sent them an email in support and I said I never got an email regarding what my rule break was, and they responded with the fact that I only needed another five $50 days and then three flip days. So if I had known I needed another 1,500 on the accounts from wherever the break was, 27.5, I would have traded them a little differently. I wouldn't have just flipped the 3 trading days for nothing. I definitely would have continued to trade yesterday as well. MAE violation. Yeah, but that's why they have the consistency rule in place for, so it doesn't really make sense with that. Hey Zev, how you doing? What does MAE stand for? I honestly have no idea. MAE is just on Apex. Yeah, it's like maximum allowed exposure or something like that. I think that's what the. Hang on, I just joined. What is Apex doing there? Absolute joke. They don't want to keep anyone in check. They just want to make sure it's hard as possible for people to get payouts. Hope that you'll blow the accounts before you meet all their rules. I mean, lucky enough, I'll pull up the email from last time. I don't see what harm would be in that, other than my account numbers, possibly. Let's see. Yeah, you don't get any with them. Another 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at. The reason I'm not looking at the data for edgeful yet is because we still have a decent amount of time until the. We did have jobless claims this morning. That's the 8:30 candle. You see the 0.2% up. So no point in readjusting our thesis 3 times in open. But we'll have a pretty good one going in. I'm looking for that email now just so you guys can see how silly this is. Let's see if this. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is, and I want to just have all this out for transparency's sake so everyone knows that this is a kind of a joke to be looking for. Maximum adverse excursion violation occurs when the open trade loses or losses exceed 30%. Yeah, I know what the rule is. So this was the support ticket I opened up with them. Wednesday the 11th, I can request correct. And then this is what they responded with. Yes, if you trade every business day, the earliest you can request a payout is the end of the day on the 11th, provided all other criteria are met. And then this is the article that they sent me, payout requirements. And then I went and did a thorough read through this. And that's the reason that I traded the 8 days the way I did, kind of wimpy, I'd add. And then there's nowhere on here that says I have to make another 1,500 or double the amount or 30% consistency rule, which I have. I haven't had a day over like 400 profit on the accounts. And then for the 25Ks, it shows what you can request, what the buffer is, minimum required balance, safety net, $100, all that stuff. So I have no idea what it could have been. But you said you got denied for the same thing, right, Steve? I never got an email for it. Go ahead. I never got an email for it. I never got told what the violation was. And I've gotten emails for everything else, so I don't know what the discrepancy was there. And I'm even more upset by the fact that this is what they send me, saying that this is what I need to do. 8 trading days. You must have completed at least 8 trading days, profit on 5 days, $50 or more, safety net for those first 3 payouts. Anyway, all right, going into soon, it will be best to trade a live account. Probably already is. All right, we have our previous day's range, which is the IB from yesterday. Surprisingly, we never broke out of the IB, which did reset us into an 85% win rate for Wednesdays on those IBs. SPY and Qs are both pretty much, SPY's smack dab in the middle of its previous day's range, inside bar. So for that inside bar, that still has an 80% chance of breaking today. What we're going to be looking for is a break of previous day's high. And we've done this several times before, right? Which one of these is going to break first? If you guys expect us to have upside, which one do you expect to break first? In this case, it's more than likely going to be Qs, given that Qs is $2 away. SPY is also $2 away, but $3, sorry. Those $3 on SPY, a lot more significant than a $2 to $3 move on Qs. So if QQQ goes and breaks the high, I'm going to look for a retest down to that high and a continuation on Qs, what that should do for us on SPY. And I might go and take this on MES. I'll load that up, make sure I'm trading 2 micros and not 4. These accounts, or sorry, not these accounts, these moves should propel SPY up to that previous day's high. I highly doubt we retrace all the way down to that low, 607. That's $8 away from where we are right now. And this is actually a perfect example for your question you had on Tuesday, I believe, Freedom Trader, Monday or Tuesday. Or it might have, was it yesterday that you asked? So why am I targeting the inside bar high as opposed to the low? It's just because this is a great example for it today. We're much closer. Is it more likely that we move up $2 or we move down $8? And then since SPY is lagging behind, we should also, SPY has a 81.8% chance of breaking. QQQ 80.5. And this is also, it's kind of streaky right now, so it might be overdue a loss. It is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row on Qs, and SPY is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. So today might be another inside bar that could stay within the range, given the amount of streaks we've been on for both of these. The last time this lost was 0130, so well over 2 weeks ago. So it might, especially with CPI tomorrow morning, it might stay like this all morning, all day. Within that range, we'll see. Either way, if we are anticipating a break of that high, we should also be anticipating SPY to follow suit. For our gap fill stat, we are in the second bracket today. As it stands right now, we might open in the third bracket. It's at 0.38 right now. So we'll keep a close eye on that. It's got 6 minutes left. With the gap up we have right now, it's pretty close to a 50-50 chance If it goes to the third bracket, it's over a 50-50 chance. So either way, we don't really have that significant of a chance to go down and fill the gap. The gap fills down to 612.88. SPY is even less of a chance because its gaps are a little more significant. This one is pretty much 50-50. If SPY moves up another 0.08%, then it goes into the third bracket and the chance goes to a 2 and 3 as opposed to 50-50. So I will not be anticipating a gap fill. It's not any significant measure today. It's 50-50. I will be looking for which one of these breaks first. It should very much be Qs. If we go and take that previous day's high, it's going to be Qs. And then what we can do is we can chase, as bad as that is to say, we can chase SPY a little bit. I'll actually leave that resistance on there because that's a pretty significant level. We have a resistance from Tuesday's pre-market, hit it on Tuesday's high, hit it yesterday, rejected several times at open. So 696.50 is going to be your resistance prior to us hitting 697.20. Morning, SR. How are you doing? How beautiful was that break yesterday? That was awesome. Very disappointed I didn't get filled live. I did end up taking some longs at about noon yesterday. And that's how I was able to pass these Tradeovate Tradeify accounts are brand new. I passed them yesterday. This is even after I ended up making 4,280 on these accounts yesterday because of those longs. And it doesn't seem like it was a very big move. I got a very good entry at 12, luckily. I think my entry was at like 610. It doesn't seem like a very big move on the chart, but this move from noon until that high day, I ended up getting filled out at, might have gotten filled out at 12:45. I think it was closer to 2 o'clock though, just barely over the high that we made at 12:45. This move was still like 140 points to the upside, which was incredible. A lot of movement yesterday to capitalize on, which was very nice. Okay, everything's all set for those. These ones have 20 set, so 1 micro on those, 1 micro on MES as well. Good. Everything else is all set. All right, nothing else that we're looking at. No news. We did just push down a little bit on the opposing side of that coin. I don't think we're going to go all the way down to 0.2% because if we do, then that's a 94% chance we fill the gap. That's on both SPY and Qs. For the IB by rejection for a Thursday, we're all set to take it for the lows form first. If it's the high form first, it's a really bad setup coming through. It's 57% win rate. So this one is the sad part about this is this isn't even overdue a loss or overdue a win. This is just how bad Thursdays are in general, measured over the past 2 to 3 years. Thursdays are just not good. London 50. Oh yeah, I forgot to draw that in again. What am I doing? London 50 is right there. That's where we're sitting. So we'll see. I still think we're going to push right up. I don't think we'll get a gap fill today. There's Thursdays over the past 3 years. So these are still on the lower end for win rates. Thursdays before OPEX usually trend. We do have CPI tomorrow, so it's going to put a wrench in the works. Wrench. All right, we opened just below London 50, but we did also open over that 0.3. We're in the still for the gap fill by size. We're in the second bracket, so it's about a 50-50 on both SPY and Qs. SPY opened at surprisingly a little bit stronger. Qs wicked down a lot more than SPY did just now. So I'm not putting any emphasis on looking for a gap fill or not looking for a gap fill. It's not a significant data point for us to follow. What's going on, Solid Rock? How you doing? Okay. So again, I'm going to be looking for Qs. Qs should go and break the inside bar. Now, the only downside to this thesis today is that we have CPI tomorrow. We don't have that significant of a gap fill chance. And the inside bars are also both on SPY and Qs are on a 7-day win streak. 7 data point win streak. So not 7 days in a row. 211, 210, 209, 206, 204, 203, and the last loss was 130 on Qs. The last loss on SPY was also 130. So this is 7 wins in a row on both of them. We might not go and take that previous day's high. We might actually go and take the high. We'll see. Nice push up. I can't even really say it's off London 50 because we opened underneath London 50. SPY also opened underneath London 50, so nothing there either. CPI is tomorrow morning. Yes, CPI is tomorrow at 8:30. Excuse me. 8:30 tomorrow morning. We had jobless claims at 8:30 today. That's what this 8:30 news candle was. Not really all that violent, but tomorrow's anticipating a. I always go to SPY options AI implied move. Gives you pretty accurate implied moves for the week. So tomorrow, February 13th, we're anticipating a 0.07% implied move on SPY. We're either going up to 700 or we're going down to 689 from where we are right now. That's the implied move for tomorrow's CPI print. February 13th for the close, the entire day, the implied move is 0.7%, regardless of CPI or what time CPI comes out. So that gives us what our implied move for the end of the week, as well as what the data implied move is. After the data comes out, we'll probably have a move similar to what we had yesterday with NFP, or even though NFP pushed us up, it retraces most of it. First time in a while, we've seen SPY and Qs detach like this as well. So funny enough, Freedom Trader, we might not actually see SPY go and break last. Maybe we might see Qs consolidate while SPY goes and breaks, and then Qs tags up with it. That would be kind of funny. SPY is still green on the opening candle. Qs is decently red. Oops, didn't mean to do that. No trades in the first 15-minute candle anyway, so a lot of development. Just wait out. What the heck are all those dings I'm getting? Have you heard about Eigenstate predicts futures markets? I have not. No, Kurt. Did you get approved for Apex? I did not. They denied me. Again. Where'd the movement go? SPY and Qs are, if you guys are noticing right now, are making the exact opposite move to the tick. SPY was just all the way up at 694.95. Qs was red on the bar, and now Qs is pushing up and SPY is pushing back down. New high a day on Qs, and SPY is not budged. Very interesting. At least Tesla. Oh, where'd the candle go? What the heck happened there? Which has a $7 opening candle on Tesla. Very interesting. Maybe that's what's causing the skewed data. I don't know. It has been a while though, Bob, since we've had skewed IB. What's going on with London range? Some barcode action. It has been a very backwards week in terms of what we're anticipating for news. I don't think I've ever, in my entire trading career, I don't think I've ever seen NFP come out on the third Wednesday of the month or whatever Wednesday it was. First off, I've never seen it come out on a weekday that's not Friday, a midweek day. Even with the first government shutdown, even when we had the tariffs back in April last year, I've only ever seen it come out on Fridays or be delayed for another Friday. It's still Andre. Yeah, he's still the jinx. Hood is dumping though. Hood doesn't have too much of a weighting in SPY or Qs. I don't know. It's exactly what you were just covering there too. Now that Qs is pushing back down, SPY is almost at a new high a day. 694.87. Qs is almost back to red on the candle. Very odd. New high day on SPY. London high on SPY. This is a really tiny London range as well. $1.70. That's not even 20 points on MES. Yeah, we're at an 11-point opening candle right now on the 15-minute time frame. It's been 10 minutes in the market open. Crazy divergence indeed. It's kind of funny. They're doing the exact opposite with each tick on the candle. SPY is usually the one that leads anyway, but everything I just said about that gap fill is kind of thrown out the window now. Not the gap fill, sorry, the inside bar. It's kind of thrown out the window because SPY is caught up to where Qs was. SPY now only has a $2, less than a $2 break to go. Qs still has $2 to go. Previous day's high is, let's snap to it, 617.52. Previous day's high on SPY is 697.14, which is still where I'm going to be anticipating price to go to. It just looks like it's probably going to take all day. Look at that dump all the way back down on Qs, and SPY hasn't even dipped a little bit. All right, who's new in here that we can blame? Do we check data on that? Data on what? What data would you like to look at, Dr. Comey? Data on divergence? I don't think there's any data for that. Qs is now red on the opening candle again. You'll take the blame as a newbie. There you go, Bob. Webby said that they'll take the blame today. I do not look at YM, no. And we will not be looking at that data, unfortunately. YM is another one that I think it overcrowds what you're looking at. I've never used it for confluences. I probably never will. Andre's probably thinking about you since you're streaming, so we can still blame Andre. Yeah, we can. Man. Yeah, if you guys are, oh well, a little bit of lining up now. IB highs form first for today, which is the one that I did not want to happen. Both SPY and Qs have also just formed a new IB low. Damn it. So the reason I didn't want that to happen is because this is only a 57% chance for today. It is because we're missing several days of data. As you can see, this is only showing 9. This one's showing 14 for the high. So the high forming first is actually accurate. The low, though, we're missing 9 data points because of the 2 holidays we had. 3 of them actually on Thursdays. So we've had 3 market closures on Thursday. I don't think we have any other data today. We might actually have 10 o'clock, but it's like business inventories or something like that, some small existing home sales. So that won't do anything for us today. At most, we can probably go and target that gap fill now, given that we're almost at it. So 612.93, another 40 cents down. And then some upside from there. I'm so happy you don't look at YM. I don't get what the obsession with YM is. There's always, always, always SMT or divergence with YM and what SPY or Qs is doing. So I do not understand why everyone is obsessed with looking at it. Gap fill hit, which, I mean, you might as well have gone and flipped a coin for that gap fill. 59% chance it filled, 41% chance it didn't. SPY hasn't filled the gap yet, but this one was 52 and 48. A very slim chance that it was significant. I mean, you had an additional 2% that it went and filled the gap. Also just hit previous day's 50 with a very strong reactions to that. I don't really want to take the IB low today. We'll still trade the IB normally, but I think did we lose on it last Thursday? No. I don't remember if we got an entry on it last Thursday or not. I think we did. Because it had a pretty nice break. And then, yeah, we did have an entry last Thursday. It wasn't a very big gain, but we still got that entry. I think the Thursday before, one of these Thursdays over the past 3 weeks, we lost on it. This one right here, Thursday, January 22nd. So 3 weeks ago, we lost on the IB high. This one was shockingly like 20 cents away from breaking. And then it ended up going and taking the IB high. I do remember that one. That was on the select account evals. I'm out 20 points. Nice. Or is he seeing the chat that he's talking to? Right. Could either be on a different one. All the chats are consolidated into one. Or are you going to say Freedom Trader? Sorry, I cut you off. There you go. Yep. Oh, I had my case escalated. Please do not trade on the accounts for the remainder of the day. Well, we'll be trading on Tradeify today. Maybe I will end up getting the payout. That'd be nice. They did. Let's see. I mean, I don't know the names of the people that work there for support, but hopefully it ends up going in my favor. Let's see. Not really. No new developments. No new developments in the chart. SPY and Qs are very, very diverged right now. Can't think of the word I wanted to use. Let's see did the 5-minute opening inversion work on Tesla again? It did. It did. Beautiful. We had a $3 opening candle on the first 5 minute. So inverse the second candle closed green, inverse that. So you go in puts. And at most you were down maybe like 40%, depending if you got this week's expiration or next week. If you got next week, you're down maybe 7%. But on the flip side of that, you're maybe up like 20% right now. It's still a nice $5 drop to capitalize on. They must be looking at your Twitter. Honestly, that could very well be the case. That would be very funny. If they go and look at my Twitter and see that I've been getting like 20,000 views per tweet that I make about them with no affiliate code, and they're like, oh no, we have to go and fix this immediately, guys. Very nice bounce off of previous day's 50 right there. Unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this arrow because I don't think it's SPY. I'm going to leave it on because I do think it's a little more likely. But if you remember from the very first statement on the inside bar today, it has been on a 7-day win streak. What do I say for that? Just a 7 win streak because it's not consecutive days in a row. It's been on a 7 win streak. There we go. It might be due a loss because it's a 1 in 5 chance that it loses, 4 in 5 chance that it wins, or 8 in 10. I mean, if we're looking at the past 10 data points, it is reading 8 and 10 perfectly. If we look at the past 9, it's 1 and 9. So it would technically be due the loss today, meaning for an inside bar, we might stay. This might be what we do for the remainder of the day. Ideally, with where the IB is right now, this is what I'd like to see. The IB go back to the 50 and then probably just pitter out for the rest of the day. And then overnight, for CPI moves, I have noticed this for recent CPI moves, for the overnight session, it usually trends in the opposing direction of what CPI does. That's for recent CPIs. In the past, it used to trend in the same direction, and then CPI would come out. This is like June to September of last year when everyone was bullish as could be. CPI would trend gap up 1%, and then CPI would come out and we'd push up another 1% and be a 2% day. What is the inversion play on Tesla? Something that I came up with a long I don't know why I don't play it anymore because it's really accurate. The 5-minute opening inversion on Tesla is you're looking for the first 5-minute candle to open and close. First 5-minute candle to close. I could have just said that. If the first 5-minute candle is green, you wait for the second 5-minute candle to close. If the second 5-minute candle closes green, you inverse that. If it closes red, you inverse. Either way, you inverse the second 5-minute candle. So if the first one's green, you wait for the second 5-minute candle, you inverse that. Green candle open. Okay, wait another 5 minutes. If this candle closes green, I go short. If this candle closes red, I go long. In this case, you would have gone short right at the close, which was 434.34. And your stop loss is the high, the wick high of that second candle, or the wick low, depending on if it was red. In this case, you would have stayed in and you would have capitalized on about a $5 move to the downside, maybe a little bit more if you held it to this wick. And you should be out of this trade within the first 20 minutes of market. So by the close of the fourth 5-minute candle, you were out of the trade. You're not looking for a continuation lower. Yesterday, obviously, that would have been nice had you played a continuation, but you can see yesterday we had a 5-minute opening green. Second 5-minute candle came in red. You enter longs at 433. Your stop loss is 432.30, the low of that second 5-minute candle. And then the continuation, you can really set whatever price target you want. If you did weekly expirations, this is probably a 50% play. If you did next week's, probably a 10 to 15% play. And you can go as many days back as you want. Same thing right here. Opening 5-minute candle green, second 5-minute candle was green. You short that, maybe would have been down like 20%. And then your stop loss is the wick high of that second candle. Didn't even get remotely close to it. Take profit wherever you want end of that fourth 5-minute candle. And this, I don't know what the win rate is for it. I've never tracked it in terms of looking at the data for it, but it is going to lose on occasion. If the first 5-minute candle is red, you inverse that immediately. If the first 5-minute candle is green, you wait for the close of the second 5-minute candle. So the first 5-minute candle was red on Monday. You go long. Your stop loss is the wick low of that candle. This one would have been maybe like a $6 move to the upside that you capitalize on. And then I'll do one more. Friday last week, opening candle green, second candle green, inverse that. Stop loss at the wick high, 405.89. Take profit. This one wasn't really that big of a trade. You would have made maybe 15 to 25%. Oh, does it really? Tesla now has Monday and Wednesday expirations as well, so you can do it on a week to week time frame. That's pretty cool. A really nice example of it Thursday, February 5th as well. Opening candle green, second candle green, inverse that, go short, 400 all the way down to 388. Definitely wouldn't have held it at 388. Probably would have sold it at like 397. Let's keep back testing it until we find a loss on it. Wednesday, February 4th, opening candle red, second candle green. So since that first opening candle was red, you inverse that immediately. Capitalize on a $5 push to the upside. Another win. So this is like 8 for 8. Opening candle green, inverse that second candle. There's your first loss. And the loss on this candle, the wick low of the second candle, you would have maybe lost like 6% on this trade. Your entry was 423.03. Your stop loss was 422.68. So at most Tuesday, even if you're in weekly contracts, this is like a 5 to 10% loss. And it did end up playing out in the next candle, but it's besides the point. Opening 5-minute candle red, Monday, February 2nd. Next 3 candles retrace pretty much the whole thing. So fun little trade you guys can do. I am going to take this. So I haven't been doing it because I just haven't been trading options, naked options as much. Once we have those CME individual futures added, which should be by June, I think they said is when they're adding them. Once those are in, then I'm going to trade the strategy with Tesla futures. But for now, if you guys wanted to do options, that's the concept of the play. It's looking very likely that we stay within this inside bar, especially because I don't think we're going to continue lower. I don't think we're going to continue too much lower. Are you buying at the money on the Tesla idea? Yeah. Yeah, Eddie, always at the money. I don't think we're going to continue too much lower. What I think is going to happen is one of these candles, and I'm not saying to go and buy longs right now. I'm just saying I think one of these candles coming up is going to form the low. We'll retrace the IB. And then for Tuesdays, the range that we have on the IB right now is 0.7%. Let's say it forms the low right now. We'll be very lucky if we even get to half standard deviation. So it might line up for an overdue loss because it is at 7 wins in a row. I think the last time it streaked this much was 12/31. Scrolled right into it. Nice. 12/31 to 01/12. This was at 6 wins in a row, and then it went on 2 losses. 6 wins in a row again right here from 12/17 to 12/26, and then it lost on 12/30. So it looks like, actually, never mind. This is the longest streak right here. 10/22 to 10, way beyond that. 10/22 to 11/21. 10 wins in a row. Oh, shoot. Nope, still going. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 wins in a row on the inside bar. 10/21 to 12/03. So 2 months in a row that this strategy won, or this data point won. Looks like we're going to previous day's low. Yeah, it might get. I think it's equally as likely that we stay within today's range. SPY isn't really budging all that much, which is important to note. SPY has another $4 down or to the upside. So either way, it's going to be a pretty substantial move. Wow, we're actually a really nice bounce back up. Still have another 15 minutes before we can look to take shorts, but we will be looking for shorts today. Really nice push back up. Not even close to 50% yet, but I don't think we're going to break out of the inside bar today, everyone. I think we're going to stay right where we are. And we're probably going to hover right at 50%. The only reason being, maybe they did make a mistake and they meant to have NFP come out today and CPI on Wednesday, which seems like it should be. I've seen CPI come out maybe 2 times over the past like 3 years on a Friday. For the initial bounce today, I'm not entirely thrilled to go and take it to the low because of the on SPY it's 60%, on Qs it's 57. It is somewhat overdue a win. In the defense of the high breaking first, we've had 2 closures on Thursdays, and we've also had 2 Thursdays over the past month where they didn't break. So that's why the data point's so low. Still going to be looking to take the trade today, just not going to be looking to go too heavy into it. They should take yesterday's low. I am going to be looking for a break of the inside bar. So if we go and take the low, I'm not going to take the trade all the way to 607. Keep in mind that it does want to break this range on an inside bar. The longer it stays within the inside bar, the larger the move outside of that inside bar is. So if we end up breaking it tomorrow, it makes sense because it's going to be with the CPI print. If we end up breaking it today, it's going to just pitter out right after it breaks it. We do have an additional $5 to go either way. So the upside breaks 617. $5 this late in the day, even though it's only 10 o'clock, is still a lot of time for this move to happen. However, we've already seen probably 70 to 80% of the volume come in for the day. And you can go and look at that on any given day. And the first 30 minutes has 80% of the volume on average. The closing candle has the remaining 20%. This is on average again. The in between, so from like 10 o'clock to 3:45, the volume is almost non-existent. So over those 5 hours of trading, even though the average volume is 50.6 million, 56 million, not 50.6, even though the average volume is that high. And what I mean by this is the majority of that volume comes in on those first two 15-minute candles. The rest of the volume for the day is spread out over those 5 hours. So you have a very condensed time frame where you have the majority of volume come in. Price will not move. This is what you're going to expect. This exact move that we had from 10:30 to close yesterday. Any given day you want to go and look at this, you'll see the largest two candles are the first 30 minutes. The rest of price action for the day, even if you have a 2 o'clock news event, the rest of that price action is non-existent. Some days you get lucky with a trend like this, but even after it gets to noon, especially at noon, you will not have any continuation. Sorry if you guys can hear my keyboard clank, and hopefully not with that sound suppression on. Almost at previous day's 50, but not quite. We did end up hitting it on SPY. I don't even. This white line I have is Friday's high, so there should be a level that we bounce off of as well. 692.30 previous week's high, and then 696.54 is a resistance. So I'm going to leave that on there. Price has already kind of stopped moving here on the 15-minute time frame. We have 3 minutes until this candle closes. So I'm going to be looking for at least a retest up to 613.11. We might jump in a little early. It's going to be a 2 micro entry as well. These are on 50K accounts today. So it's going to be a 2 micro entry. Ideally, we look for, well, actually, let's draw in the, I'm going to look to take it on MES because it's a lot better. It's a lot cleaner than MNQ today. MNQ's kind of nasty looking. MNQ, if you guys did want to take it, the entry is going to be, as it stands right now anyway, it is currently a 210-point range. So 110 points from the IB 50. Your entry is going to be 25,280 on MNQ. I'm going to be looking for it on MES. So my entry is going to be pretty much 69.78, and it's only a 20-point move up or down, which is a lot more relaxed. And that's the IB range right there. So the IB mid is 69.76. The IB high is 16 points. The IB low is 16 points. So $80 up, $80 down per MES is what we're going to be looking for today. So IB high form first for QQQ today, correct? Yes, IB high form first, correct. And we're going to be looking for the IB low. All right, we'll see how that goes. I just forwarded the previous support ticket to them. It would be pretty funny if they go and reverse the decision today because I'd open a support ticket with them. All right, we need a little bit more upside. I'm going to be going in with 2 MES on Tradeify because it is on a 50K account. I'm going to put I'm going to look to get filled at 6976, and the stop loss is going to be the IB high. Take profit is going to be the IB low, 6960. So 16 points, $160 if the full TP hits. A little bit more upside. You do have 14 minutes, but I think we can front run it. So at 50% level, how to determine to go long or short? The 50% level is the ideal entry. Okay, almost there. A little bit more, a little bit more. It's off by 2 points right now. Yeah, but how do you decide to go long or short? This is telling us to go long or short. We have a 60% chance on SPY, 57% chance on Qs to go and target the IB low since the IB high was formed first. We're just waiting for a little bit more upside on SPY. We want to hit 6976. We missed it by 1 point. So you just want to make sure that we go and get filled. I'm actually going to go and put the sell 10 limit in. I'll put the buy 10 stop up there. So I'm going to put the order in to go and sell 6976. And shorting 2 MES at 6976 to IB low. So hopefully we get filled on that. We're 2 points away right now. Another 5 points up. The longer it takes to close this candle, stop loss above the wick the previous candle. No, that was just for Tesla. The stop loss on this is the IB high. Our stop is going to be at 6992. Let's see what all the other holdings. Oh man, it's rejecting a little too early. I almost chased it a little bit. I don't think I would have gotten the entry at 6975. That would have been too good of an entry to get with a sell bid. Do these percents for a certain amount of retracement pullback or just generally for IB low form first, then IB high, which broke first? The retracement is my own add-on to the strategy. The strategy itself is just indicating what break is going to happen. It doesn't indicate what retracement you're going to get after that break or before the break, sorry. We almost hit it again. Missed it by a point. This one was way too. The one at 10 a.m. was too early. Wouldn't it be great if we had the retracement stats? Well, they're trying to figure out how to. Where's Andre? Andre is not here. They're trying to figure out. They've been working with me to try to figure out how to add in the stat for that. What they have added in, if you guys want to use it, is where it is on the IB. So you can go to the IB by rejection report. Looks like it's actually not on here anymore. IB by rejection, custom. Hold on, I'll find it. IB by breakout, maybe on here. No, they removed it. It's pretty difficult to add in a premature level for rejection because they don't store data that way, is what they told me. So they can add in like the IB by levels or the IB by retracement. There we go. We got filled. Short filled. 2 MES. Take profit is going to be the IB low. Buy 10 limit at 6960. Filled short on 2 MES. TP 6960. Stop loss is 6992. And we have 7 minutes to go. Retracement. The IB by retracement stat is for after the IB has broken out. So you can go to the IB by the initial bounce breakout. You can go to custom reports or the sub report, sorry, and you can go to by retracement. That tells you what happens after the IB is already broken. So that one's not useful. That one is not. Something that we need to use. We're up 70 on this trade already. Not going to be moving the stop loss up quite yet. At least let this trade go until preferably 10:30, and then I can move it up. But very nice fill. Thankfully, we got filled on both contracts as well. $70 in profit still. About halfway to the break. Wow, so clean the entry. I wasn't filled the same level. Are you on Tradeabate or Project X, Khalid? Which time do you start taking IV trades? 10:23. is when I look to get them. This week, I guess I'm lying. This week I was entering earlier. The reason I like to enter at 10:23 is because the longer it takes for this IB to break, or the IB to form, sorry. So like 10:23, we have 7 minutes until the IB is formed. Very unlikely that we go and take a new IB high in that time frame. 15 minutes, it's a little more likely that price could reverse and push to a new IB high, which the reason it's not ideal for that to happen is that's not a loss on the strategy. It's just a loss because you entered too early on the play. You guys can also see the position up here on the top left. We're at 400, and I guess we basically just got one micro or one mini ES. We're at 485 right now, 500. Trade of 8. That stinks. Did you have it set right at that same level? 6976.25 is where I had mine. Sometimes I've had it off by literally half a point or a tick, and you won't get filled. So it's pretty unfortunate. But that is a perfect reaction at 50% of the IB. QQQ SPY missed it on SPY's chart by a little tiny bit, little teeny tiny bit. What's your win-loss ratio in RR? I do not look at my win-loss ratio. My risk-reward at minimum is 1-to-1. Unless you're looking at a trade like yesterday where we had a 40 risk-reward. Literally missed my limit order by 1 tick. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. So you had it at like 6976.5. I got pretty lucky, I guess. I actually got very lucky. The fact that I set it at 6976.25. Does the IB by levels measure only the whole hour, or can you adjust it to front run? The IB by levels measures the extension after the IB is broken. So after the IB has already broke, that's why you have these levels, IB by levels. So you see the 0.5, the 1, the 1.5, that's your IB by level stat. That doesn't help us with the IB by rejection or the IB in general. Does IB by rejection apply to SPX? ES and SPX are the same. So yes. I took the entry, Michael, because we hit right at 50% of the IB. So that's my signal. That's my best entry for a short. And the IB is telling us for SPY today, we have a 60% chance of going to break the low before we go and break the high. And that's why I'm in shorts. We're at 57 right now. I think it peaked at about 100. It did peak at 100. So stop loss, I'm going to move up here shortly. If we can get to 100 profit again, I'll move it up. There you go, Steve, 56 profit. Still up 70. This wick low was prior to when we got in, by the way. We got in at this candle right here. This 1 minute, 1022 is our entry. So 1 minute before I would usually front run it. It peaked at about 10 points. This wick low from over here was formed well before we get in. It's back up to 85. Why'd I get 2 MES today? Because I'm on a 50K account. These are 50Ks. Tradeify 50Ks. These are not 25K accounts. 25K accounts, I would have gotten one MES. These accounts are already funded, Rain. The F funded Tradeify 50Ks. So this is real money. It's not paper. Wonder what they meant by minimum profit, not met. Makes no sense. Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of waiting, a lot of waiting. Up 60 right now. Up 82 right now. We can almost get it trailed to break even. I'm going to try to wait a little bit. Why MES versus MNQ? This is a Rather Be. Good to see you. Oh, what's going on, Rather Be? How you doing? The reason I'm in MES is because Q's is nowhere near 50%. MES was a lot better of a setup. Hit 50% of the IB perfectly. We're also up 125 right now, so we can probably get the stop loss trailed up. 3 points off. I'll secure it. 125. If it goes and hits the full TP, I miss out on $25, I think. Full TP hit right there. So I kind of screwed myself a couple points anyway. Full TP hit. I got out for 120 profit. Over 5 accounts, so 580. Sorry. Full TP hit on no, never mind. Never did not hit. There we go. Now it did. Full TP hit right there. Missed it by like a tick. So I got out early for nothing. I missed out on another $30. It's okay. 400 on the day. Very happy with that. Again, the reason I did not take it on M and Q, you guys should be able to answer this. If our entry is at 50% of the IB, and by the way, I do think this is what's going to happen with price today. We retrace and break the IB and then kind of do nothing for the remainder of the day. SPY hit 50% perfectly. QQQ was a good dollar below, 80 cents to $1 below. Nice, got 95 on 1M&Q. What luck. Decided to put a limit order at 40% retracement and got in before it melted down. There you go, 99. I'm short off the 14 EMA. A really good trade, nonetheless. I don't think we have enough oomph today. That's a funny word. I don't think we have enough oomph to get down to 689, which is what previous day's low is. And that's also one standard deviation hitting. We just now got the gap fill on SPY, by the way. So I Price is probably done for the day. Once QQQ breaks the IB, I think price is done. Yeah, I like the word. You like the word oomph. Too big of a range on MNQ. I wouldn't say the range is too big today. The entry wasn't there for Qs. The entry was perfect on SPY. We quite literally got in tick perfect on SPY. I do wish I left the order to hit the full TP, but 125 still good. Now let's go and catch up on this Apex email. Yeah, they must have seen my tweet. There's a QQQ's IB broken, by the way. So wins across the board. IB by rejection, played perfectly. 60% chance. This is as skewed as it is because we've had 2 breaks on Qs. I just covered this. We've had 2 breaks where there was no break, 2 Thursdays where there are no breaks. And then we also had 12-11, a recent loss, but today was a pretty nice win on that. Now that the IB's broken, I was pretty damn accurate with that arrow. We just didn't manage to retrace up to 50%. I think this is probably what price is going to do today. So we are all done there. Can I comment on last night's trade? Last night's trade, Arvin, was a mistake, funny enough. Hey, Jay Patel, how you doing? Yes, I did. I just took the IB low. We got a tick perfect entry on SPY right there. Tick perfect at 696. Where is it? 6976.25. There we go. And I got out a little early. Could have capitalized on another $30, but it's okay. Coping. Perfect representation of the IB today. 50% retracement. Perfect entry. Subpar exit. The trade last night was on MNQ. And it was an accident because I was coming over from trading on the 20, which I'm a little upset that they didn't let me trade on this today because that would have been a really nice $120 win, but whatever. For the trade I had last night, I was still trading. I ended up entering 12. This is not the regular position sizing I do, as you can see. I had this copy trader set to 20 because I was on Apex. This is set to 20. So I was looking to get 1 MNQ for a long last night, and I ended up getting into 12 because I'm trading on 5 accounts as opposed to 20. So each one of these orders was 4 MNQ. Complete mistake on my part. I didn't even think twice of it because if you see when you set an order on here, if I go to, that would have been bad. If I go and set an order, like a buy limit, it's so difficult to see that I have 4 on here. I don't even usually look at the buy limit anyway, but I see that I have 4. That's a tiny, tiny number. I don't even see where in the top left it usually says what the order is. So I didn't even know that I was ordering that many contracts last night, and I got up. Thankfully, I had a stop loss set anyway. I had the stop set at 20 points, 25 points, 30 points. That sounds more accurate. I had the stop set at 30 points last night. So that's how I ended up making the other 200. It was a complete accident, or the other 300. It was a complete accident. It was an oversight by my part. I did have a stop loss set. At worst, I would have lost like 280 to 300 last night. But again, it was a mistake on my part. I did not mean to add into 12 MNQ. I only wanted 3 at most. And then I saw price continue up, and I was a little sad that I didn't hold the position, but it's okay. It's okay. Did they tell you not to trade on Apex? Yeah, they did, Steve. I just sent you what that email was. They said, "Hi there, Bryce. A case regarding your accounts was just brought to my attention. I will complete my due diligence and get back to you with an update by the end of business day today. Thank you for your patience." And this wasn't from a support ticket that I opened, by the way. So I'm assuming they probably just saw my tweet. Someone had to have seen my tweet or my post on the accounts. I'd take an in and out trade just to count as a trading day. Either way, Steve, I'm gonna have to wait until Monday the 23rd. If it's Tuesday the 24th, whatever. That would be the freaking icing on the cake if I take a flip trade today. I know it'll add another day, but I have to wait 2 weeks anyway. Either way, it's going to be Monday or it's going to be Tuesday. If I took a flip today, it would be Monday the 23rd. If I don't, then it's going to be Tuesday the 24th. But I'm saying that would be the icing on the cake is if I took a flip trade today and they said, sorry, we can't approve it because we told you not to trade and you just entered one. Have you had a conversation with Andre getting this 50% front run IB concept into the algo portion of edgeful? It's very difficult to add in, Mark. I don't know if you just heard me talking about that on stream. It's very difficult to add in because it's not something that they collect data for. They don't collect data for. It's a difficult parameter to measure because, as you see, I take the entries before the IB's formed. The IB finishes forming at 10:30. I just took that entry at 10:22. So it's not really possible for them to add in, not yet anyway. We also just hit half standard deviation. It's not really possible for them to add in a measure that will calculate, okay, at 10:22, this can take the 50% entry, because what if it ends up hitting 50% at like 9:45 in the morning before the IB is even remotely close to forming? There's no outline for saying, okay, the IB forms at 10:30, you take the trade 8 minutes before if it hits the IB 50. It doesn't know the difference of 8 minutes before, or if it prioritizes taking the IB 50. So it will take it if it hits the IB 50 at 9:45, or if it hits it at 10:28, or if it even hits it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon after the IB's broken. So it's a very difficult concept to put in for them. Trust me, I've been trying to work on it, but it's just not coming through. And it's nothing to do on their end. It's just a genuinely difficult thing to add in to an AI. Are you still thinking we will not hit yesterday's low? Well, now I'm not. We're pretty damn close to it. What I will add in, though, is so after the IB is broken, you go to IB by levels. These are the percent chances on any given day that we go and proceed to half standard deviation, 1 standard deviation, 1.5. We only have a 1 in 5 chance of going down to 1 on SPY. Same thing with Qs as well, which Qs is pretty much there right now. AI can't replace us. Let's go. I wouldn't say that too loud. We're probably pretty close to being replaced. Pretty good day. 400 times 5. Nice little 2K day on the Tradify accounts. These ones, the profit target is 3,000, I think. 3,100. So I should be able to take, if we keep trading like this, I'll be able to take a payout next week. Hopefully. You know what, Steve? I'll do it. Just in case, I'll put the just in case it flips up. I'm just gonna take one flip so it counts as a trading day. Give me a little bit more upside. I'll put like I risk like 40 on it. Oh, so loud. All right, that would be my flip for today. Just threw $40 into the dumpster, but bought myself another day. Oh man. All I had to do was wait a minute. That wasn't an actual trade. That was just me taking a flip trade for Apex. I don't really care about the 40. Hopefully they do approve my payout today. That would be nice, but no more on that. That is just, it would have been nice if it was a win, obviously, but that's just so I can get the payout on the 23rd now. If they end up denying it because of that, Steve, I'm going to be mad at you. You and I are going to have some beef. Just tuning in, what was the rule broken for the denial? I don't even know. I don't know what it was. Can anyone else not see the Trading Journal and Tradeify? Tradeify announced in their Discord on Tuesday this week that the journal is broken. Let me try to find it for you. Brett just this was 0210, so yeah, Tuesday this week. Brett Simba said, "Hey everyone, journal is down temporarily as we push and update towards working to integrate it directly into the dashboard. It should be back up tomorrow, and full time frame to dashboard integration should be complete by end of month. Sorry for the inconvenience." So it might be down for a while, but it's just temporary. You should be able to use it shortly. Do you need to leave a computer running for the algo to work on Edgeful? Yeah, you need to have the algo open, Steve. Sadly. Yeah, you'd have to leave it on. It unfortunately for them, they don't have like a massive data center that could house the RAM units that would run the algo for you. So they rely on your own RAM and CPU and GPU and whatever else. If that makes sense. Oh man, I barely got stopped out of that. I threw $40 into the dumpster for nothing. What's your recommendation for getting past the intraday trailing drawdown? It's been my nemesis. Don't worry about it. If you focus on the drawdown, you're not going to get anywhere. So for that intraday trailing drawdown, just disregard it. Don't focus on the numbers associated with it. That'll do you more harm than good. Guessing the discount doesn't apply next month for Apex if you don't pass the first month. Yeah, you're better off just blowing the account if you don't pass it. Good to know if I ever try them. If you do end up trying them, just know that this has been the most miserable process of trading for a payout that I've had. The 20 accounts is nice. Trading on the 20 accounts is nice because of the power of those 20 accounts, but getting to a payout and then having them actually approve it is a whole different story. You can just trade like the drawdown would be smaller, and if you are consistent and not risking too much, it does not matter. Correct. Spy and Qs are all over the place right now. They're just not lined up at all today. Yeah, don't be silly. Yeah, hopefully they actually approve it for you. I was so upset to don't do me like that. I mean, it's looking for me to get like a retroactive approval. It's looking kind of good. I like the fact that I like the fact that I didn't even open a support ticket, and the head of their support reached out to me. Well, I just gave her all the details for it. That's why I was clanking on my keyboard for so long. I specified that I wasn't subscribed to the emails, but I should have received one anyway if it was a violation like that. I wasn't subscribed to the emails. So the support ticket that I opened asking why I was denied should have specified that these are what you need to hit. These are the new rules you need to meet. I'm streaming in the Discord as well, GG. And then for the YouTube streams, it's also comments. You can't see what I'm hovering over right now, but we have 75 people on my YouTube. We have 80 people on Edgeful's YouTube. So all the comments are in one chat room for me. Yeah, would have been nice. Well, what sucks even more is that if I had known that I needed 1,500, so even though let's say this all went fine, I was okay knowing that I needed this amount. Damn, we just ended up making new lows too. Even if I had known that I needed this amount, I wouldn't have requested it last night because I also didn't know that you have to wait another 8 days to request it. I would have made first off, I would have traded differently. I would have gone for more than just $60 a day for the past 8 days. I would have like the one that we had on Tuesday last week. I cut that trade so early because I saw that it was up 60. I would have held it for the full TP on the IB, or at least a little closer to the IB trade. The only reason I didn't was because I wasn't being greedy about what I needed to qualify for that payout. So had I known that I needed to make an additional 1,500, would have traded differently. And the worst part is the accounts are at 1,300 in profit from when I last got denied. So I would have had to make another 200 over the past 8 trading days, or another 200 today, which we would have made like 120 just then. Or at the very least, I would have made another 80. It's just a terrible. I don't even know what word I'm going for here. Yeah. So I'll probably be dangled for the rest of the day. Thanks for the info and trading. I've tuned in the past couple of weeks and jumped in with you on a couple, including a 130 trade this morning. That's a good setup that I'll keep an eye out for. Thank you, Brian. Do they have an algo for MetaTrader 4 or 5 platform? I'm not sure what the actual details on their algorithm is. I just know that you have to have your broker open and running because they don't have their own data center, which, I mean, you guys can't really blame them for that. It's not like they're a company like Tesla and Meta that they can run all the processing in one unit. So you have to have your laptop open or your broker open for the algo to take the trade. You should honestly have it open regardless. If you're taking the trade and you're going to have a trade open, even if it's an algorithm taking it for you, you would still want to monitor the trade in the event that something goes wrong. Not saying that would happen, but I mean, like copy traders, those are technically algorithms that copy trade over multiple accounts for you. Those mess up all the time. Replicanto, Replicanto, Trade Copy, or Tradecopia. Have you seen My Funded Future says 25K accounts? It's only for your first purchase. I'm going to talk about that on stream tomorrow, Pit T. I will be live with My Funded Futures on their YouTube tomorrow. My Funded TV. Those are only for your first purchase. After your first purchase, it goes up to 75, which is in line with what Lucid has for 25K pros and 25K Lucid blacks. Sorry, I didn't mean you have to have your broker open, JW. You have to have your computer or laptop open. Thank you. Are there any reports that you can use on edgeful to determine an option play by week or holding overnight? Not that I know of. I don't think many of the reports on edgeful include theta decay averaged in. Sounds like a good option to scale alongside Lucid. My honest review for it, I'm going to get some of those 25K accounts. I have a 50K rapid right now that I'm almost past on My Funded Futures. I really like the 25K account plans, regardless of what firm it is. My honest review right now for those Lucid and My Funded Futures ones, Lucid still takes the lead. The reason being, the My Funded Futures, they have an 80-20% profit split on those 25K accounts. So you're losing 10%, not really for much of a reason. I think that's on their back end. The max payout that you can get on a Lucid 25K Pro is 1,000. The last max that you can get on a Lucid 25K Black is 1,500. For the max payout on with the fees included, your max payout is 900 on Lucid. For My Funded Futures, your max payout is 3,000. However, it is 50% of what you make. So you have to get a $3,000 payout with a 25K account, you have to make 6,000, and then the profit split on that is 80-20. Not even looking at the payouts, Lucid has the lead on those 25K accounts because the qualifying trading day is $50. For the 25K accounts on My Funded Futures, the qualifying trading day is $100. So it's 5 days on both of them. Qualifying trading day 100 versus 50. The payout rules, both accounts are great. Both of them are great, but I mean, we're picking really specific details on the accounts. Either way, they're both great options for getting into futures. Your cost to entry lower than really any other firm out there. $75. I think Lucid's like 78, and then the resets are 75, or Lucid's 25K pros. I think the blacks and the flexes on Lucid are like $60, and then the pro is like 85, and then the resets are 75. The resets on MyFunded futures are 75. The account costs 75. It is only your first payment. Only your first account is $50. It's actually 45, but anyway, we have come to the end of the stream now. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be live next week with Edgeful. I'll be live tomorrow morning, 10:30 to 11:30 with MyFunded TV. Hopefully we get another really nice entry on the IB like we did last Friday for that debut. But I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Great Friday, great weekend. If I don't see you, peace out.